welcome back to the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. When we last left off, we had started Trial Part 2, which is Part 4 of Bridge to the Turnabout. We had figured out, well, we had been going through the somewhat confession of Iris, making sure that she was partly to do with the murder, but only because she was trying to save the master of Graham, or the Grange handling technique, which is Fire, who apparently Iris saw commit the murder. So, let's just jump straight into it. Yes, Your Honor. Will this be her final testimony? Oh yeah, and then she also moved the body, because turns out the body was stabbed from the front. Well, Iris said the body was stabbed from the stomach, even though it was stabbed from the back. And there was a lantern. She was pressed up against the lantern, and that wasn't true. Apparently she used a dagger from her pocket, which again wasn't true. And there was also the fact of the twin sister, which is Dahlia, and so many things to this case. It's ridiculous. Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to know the body. So I must have just got confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much, actually? Are you saying there's a way to cross a burning bridge? Oh yeah, there was also that. Iris has moved the body using the snowmobile. That's the word I'm looking for, the snowmobile. But we seem to think that that's not true either.
This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from a lightning blast. It was taken all morning after the incident.
Well, it certainly wasn't burnt to a crisp, and well, the suspension wires was even snapped from using the whole bridge to fall. Clearly it would be impossible to carry crops across a bridge in this condition.
Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth. And Maya will be accused of murder.
That's right, and I'm only going to say it one more time.
I also have my caramel latte with me again, so...
It is only human to err, and only humans can spot the errors of our ways.
The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes.
Alright, Miss Wright. Leave me in your final cross-examination.
Well, it doesn't seem to be... any glaring contradictions, but I just want to look at something.
Objection!
Okay. Seriously? Seriously? Wow! I knock my microphone and it falls off. Even though it didn't look like it was going to fall off, it still fell off. Just wow. There we go. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility.
What?
Huh, you're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is it's been pulled out of thin air.
I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen.
Preposterous!
Still not spitting out my latte. No way, Jose. Not over electrics. It's not good.
Who is it? Who is this witness?
I can't chicken out here. I've got to keep on attacking. Go, go, go. Miss Elise Stoneham's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice Laurie Stoneham. Yeah, I couldn't even get through that if I wanted to.
Brilliant. Really gifted.
Princess? Ever wonder he said in his testimony? That night he was at the Mountain Shack Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night.
Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it?
No, I mean, it's June 6th, so I don't think so.
Well, Mr. Wright Ace seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air, and you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument. Seriously.
Uh-oh. It just looks like he's about to blow a gasket.
Huh. Well, Trite, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything?
Yes! I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm gonna prove it.
Listen, I know your tricks. You're gonna turn this whole thing upside down. You're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with this sketch?
Upside down? Why did God say that?
Right then, let's say defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show?
I don't think old Whiskerface is gonna forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix. Look carefully and think it over. His sketch drawn by Laurie Stoneham is exactly what happened. Of course the victim is flying through the air. You can see it right there in the sketch. Whoosh!
No, don't remind me of your statement.
What? Oh, that was the last thing I wanted to hear.
Okay. Do you have any evidence the victim flew through the air? Just so you know, we haven't discovered a giant human catapult in the NW.
Well, no. How is this fair? How is this fair? Because technically, there isn't a contradiction. It is exactly what happened. You just need to turn the picture upside down. That is not a contradiction. A contradiction would be shown in the picture, not something that you need to just turn 180 degrees. This game is just... Ah! Ugh, I wish they had.
Even if you're a lousy lawyer, at least you're 1 cup's worth of entertainment. I think we should skip the penalty this time.
Yeah. Must be some way. I just know it. There must be a way to use Larry's sketch to show the truth of what happened. What?
Very well.
Oh. A complete contradiction. Something obviously funny about this sketch.
I'm no art critic, but even I can see that.
No, that's not what I mean, Your Honour. Laurie Stoneham stated it over and over. This sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if you were to believe his testimony, the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. It contradicts reality?
Huh. This is getting interesting.
Other than that, though, you can have mysterious locks that only you can see. You can have spirit mediums. You can have a bracelet that tightens every time someone lies. You can have a mood matrix. But you can't have flying. Oh, you can also have basic logic as well. Because that's a superpower, isn't it?
Looks like you're back to that finger pointing thing again.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, try it. So what exactly contradicts reality as we know it?
Take that!
Oh. My jaw hurts all of a sudden.
This flying figure, naturally. After all, people haven't learned to fly yet. Or did I miss something?
Mr. Wright died just now. It was lethal. What?
Miss Wright, after dragging us all the way to this point, that answer was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing I'm actually blushing.
Blushing only suits women, not the elderly. Anyway, what now?
Well, surely it has to be that. It has to be.
Really?
Objection!
It all comes back to this. I can't believe all of it again. I admit that I didn't really understand before, but I get it now. That's why I believe this sketch shows the truth.
Very well.
Right. Here's a complete contradiction. Right, so done all this, done all this, done all this. Apparently it's that. Is this wire connected to the bridge?
Wire? Is that the thing that contradicts reality?
It is indeed.
Then you show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Sure, some of the point on the sketch contradicts reality.
You could have that. It's not that. Not that. Oh, this. Oh, okay.
That's a photo of Dusky Ridge, correct?
Yes, now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In this sketch, the wires appear to be going above the guard wires. While on the actual Dusky Bridge,
Jumping Chestnut!
the wires are below the guard wires.
What? Order, order, order! This sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, is it likely the artist just saw it wrong?
Or perhaps he just drew it wrong.
By the way, it sounds like you're just wrong.
With someone like Loris, I admit a mistake is definitely is a definite possibility, but then that begs the question. Why did he make a mistake? What was the reason?
You say that you know the answer to that.
Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Loris was doing when he witnessed this event. He was at Henry Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and waited, and finally he lay down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now, ponder what sort of position Loris must have been at the time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did.
He was lying on his back? I'm sorry, I can't see that late. I'm a bit slow, but still.
But it does, Your Honour. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down.
Ah! Ugh, no way.
Loris started to witness the event while he was lying on his back face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down.
So then, this sketch is actually...
I think you finally get it, Your Honour. The correct way to review Laurie Stoningham's sketch is like this. This is how it should actually look. But if that's the case, then someone's falling from the bridge. It's not Phoenix, is it? Oh, Phoenix! Turns out Phoenix actually fell twice from the bridge. There you go. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge, it was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum!
Ridiculous!
Objection! Of all things to say, a pendulum?
And the bridge was burned to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found in the temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And a pendulum was the only way to get it done.
Objection!
Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from here to temple that's the opposite cliff.
Yes, that does sound about right.
In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you have to pull a hand.
The lightning strike that night could only have been an accident, so it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get a rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them.
What?
I said it was just a matter of using what was already there.
Well, the case was right. Please give us an explanation to support our theory. What makes you think the criminal had the rope on hand to create a pendulum?
It's the same rope that's dangling down because it's the same rope that was tied up to that weird anchor thing on the other side of the bridge to the inner temple.
If you want to know where the rope came from,
it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard.
Ah! This is one of the wires from the bridge.
When the lightning struck for the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Lee Stoningham's body. Because there was simply no other way to move the body. Okay.
Mr. Cotto? Mr. Cotto is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. Well, it seems that the odds of a route being readily available are very high. So I suppose it's not an impossibility after all.
possible or impossible, that's not the question we need to ask. That was the wrong question. Did that really happen? Try it. I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence the body was swung over like a pendulum?
I mean, if the body fell 10 feet after death, then maybe... It's the only thing I can think of, either that or the sketch, but I don't think it'd be the sketch now after we've presented it so many times. Oh, it is. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped.
Looking at a map, we can see that it's the one that was in front of the temple.
So then, was the spot where the criminal?
Yes, precisely. Now, let's consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would drop on the opposite side of the bank at approximately this point.
Did you say drop?
Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. What? Actually, I think something like that happened. Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped from some distance. What kind of distant evidence? Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death.
10 feet, huh?
That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. Her body overswung due to the forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then, as a result of landing on impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. That's... Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off Miss Lee Stoneham's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found.
Indeed. I believe it's already marked on this overhead map.
The crystal was found... Precisely, Your Honour. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed.
This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with a way the body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive.
Oh.
Mr. Wright?
So that's what Lilch was.
I thought this cold coffee might help cool you down.
What does it mean, this, Mr. Gatto?
That was a dark and bitter guess you made, Trite, but you forgot about one thing.
Oh? What would that be?
The aroma.
Huh?
The coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma.
The rest of the court doesn't speak coffee nesse. Can you elaborate a bit more?
If the criminal had been sent the body to the other side like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it.
An accomplice?
A criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge after all, so who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Trite?
Mr. Gatto is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do.
Yes, Your Honour. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice.
Very well then, if you please, Mr. Wright. Who is the person that received the body on Hazakura Temple side? Mr. Gatto, I am sure you have something to say.
No aroma just now, it smelled of sulfur.
It can only be you, Sister Iris. Huh? Ah! But I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one who could have managed it.
Trite, were you really listening to the witness's testimony? I'm not a crime, it's little cutie pie. I was on clean-up duty in the inner temple garden after their mother-daughter bloodbath.
I haven't forgotten. But have you, Mr. Gatto? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim.
Strange indeed. It's almost as if on that night the defendant was in 2 different places at the same time.
Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using this sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge. Which means it's not a fact this occurred. Something you should have already known. No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about any pendulum. You know. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So, you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with. What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright?
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying that this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple?
Objection!
Are you serious? Tried. You mean this woman is?
There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanour changed so suddenly from yesterday, and why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman is standing there at the witness stand. Her real name is... Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Hawthorne?
Sister Iris had a twin sister, and you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless.
It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh yes, I remember now, that kiss 5 years ago.
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I know it's not the voice I give her, I just want to poke fun at it. Plus it's a flashback, so it doesn't really matter. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor is all mine. You're welcome.
Oh, the honor is all mine. Oh yes. What? According to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It is her execution was carried out last month.
So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom.
What? Order, order, order!
Wait a minute. How can you... My sister, she's already dead. What kind of... You, of all people, should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of Korean channeling technique flows within that body.
The Korean channeling technique? Now, where have I heard that?
That's right, you're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirited being Dahlia currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium.
What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to imply that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was.
Well, if you're going to put things that way, then yes.
We're supposed to believe a coincidence just like that happens.
Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written here in these instructions. What's that? These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises irises at Hazakura Temple.
2 of them?
Even at the time the channeling was planned out, but as soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words 10 PM. However, Iris was seen before dinner time.
That means the iris that was in the gym was real iris.
And the iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real iris. Meaning the iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her. Namely, one Dahlia Hawthorne.
Do you even know what you're saying, Triton? This all channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yeah, it's true that you've had plans just to talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand here is the real iris.
What? Ah! Jesus, I was getting somewhere.
Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. Animating Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled, would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. It was there the body was moved by pendulum.
That's right.
Naturally, that would mean that the iris that received the body was the real iris. You're with me so far.
Yeah?
And being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. Yeah, they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I can't deny any of that. Phew, thank goodness. Looks like he's finally convinced. But something still seems off. Way off. I'm still not convinced that the iris here is the same one from the other night.
Huh. I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Like the real iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places.
Switched places? To be perfectly honest, there's still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we've confirmed the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial.
Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere.
Well, Miss Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple,
I know! It was when Edgeworth passed out from the earthquake. Your Honor? And then there might have been one chance.
oh, explain yourself.
Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown.
Unknown? What do you mean?
What I mean is, there was a spell of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised.
Well, who was it? Who'd give a murder suspect time to move about free like that?
I'm sorry, I know you didn't mean to, it wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris the chance to freely move about was Mr. Miles Edgeworth himself.
This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it?
Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not?
An earthquake?
Earthquake! Oh my goodness, the inner temple! Oh, there's got a tremor mine!
How could I have? She fled. She escaped.
We went to the inner temple right away. Now it's true Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne.
That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here, no chatting this, right? Be quiet.
Oh, be quiet. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
That voice.
Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
Still just gonna do the same voice, because I thought Iris was Dahlia, so Dahlia Hawthorne, my current profession, permanently retired.
Huh. So you're not gonna bother hiding your identity anymore, huh?
Why should I? After all I've done, there's really nothing you can do to punish me.
What is going on here? What is going on here?
Dahlia Hawthorne. We never thought we'd meet again. And I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time I'll end it. For her and for myself. To be continued. Ooh, but I will continue if I may. Objection! February 10th, 1:06 p.m. Did you record
Now then, let's continue where we left off, shall we? Well, witness?
Yes, how can I help you, Mr. Judge?
Well, it seems that if we're to learn the truth, we'll need to hear your testimony.
I have no problem with that. When you see what I have, sometimes the truth is better left unknown.
In any case, let's hear your testimony. And tell us about the plan that was carried out that night.
The whole plan began with my death. A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fate to install her own daughter as the next master. But for it to work, my Fate would have to die. The idea was for me to kill Meyer and have the blame pinned on Iris. The plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway.
So that means you are...
Wait a minute! Did you just say the plan was to kill Maya Fey?
Yes. Do you have a problem with that?
Don't give us that nonsense. There's no way that...
Watch yourself, Trite. You've got a problem to solve it during cross-examination. That's one of my rules.
Mr. Potter is correct. And by the way, that's one of my rules as well.
To kill Maya? Can it be true? Well, there's nothing contradictory. So, your ex was executed last month, correct?
Yes, I was hanged. It wasn't exactly pleasant.
How did you manage to discuss the plan? When did you talk with Morgan Fay?
Last year, she was just transferred to the same detention center as me. Since I was on death row and she was my mother, it was actually pretty easy to meet with her.
I see. So that's when you discussed the plan.
You crazy? The first woman was planning to kill me as well. Even I'm her own daughter.
All to make Pearl Fay the master of Crane?
She's a cold, twisted woman. She thought she could finally regain her lost honor. The honor she lost when her younger sister Missy took her place as the master. Ever since that day, she's been working on this plan.
A plan, huh?
You're talking about Pearl Fay, is that correct?
Yeah, at first she had high hopes for the two of us.
You and your twin sister Iris.
That's correct. Imagine neither of us had much spirits of her. That's why we were abandoned by her, along with our father.
Abandoned?
The only person I ever really cared about in life was myself. My sister was a nuisance, so I convinced my father to leave her in Old Temple.
You mean Iris?
Yeah, my father remarried a woman who also has a daughter. And the less children you have, the more money there is to go around, right? On top of that, my father had absolutely no interest in children in general.
How horrible.
The really horrible one was that woman, that bit of vengeful woman. It was her stubbornness that gave birth to that child, Pearl Fay. She's born with an abundance of spiritual power. Unfortunately for her, Morgan Fay heaped all her broken hopes and dreams onto the poor child's back. All because of her pathetic dreams having a bloodline to become the main family.
Maya would have to die? But why?
For our bloodline to succeed as the main family, thus making Pearl the new master. The remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of.
The Pearls would never agree to a plan like that. She adores Maya.
How sad, you still don't get it, do you?
Can I just say, I've just realised something.
No one, not a main character, actually has an other half. No one has a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Maya doesn't have a boyfriend. Edgeworth doesn't have a girlfriend. Phoenix doesn't have a girlfriend. Literally, no one has a boyfriend or girlfriend. Edgeworth, Larry, well, he just basically can't get a girlfriend, let's be real. Von Karma, Edgeworth, none of them. Not one main character has a better half. And it's true for the newer games as well. Not one person has another half. Apollo doesn't. Athena doesn't. Blackwell doesn't. Edgeworth still doesn't. Phoenix still doesn't, even though he has an adopted daughter. But like I say, that's an adopted daughter, so... Obviously with Trucy. What Pearl wanted had nothing to do with it. Morgan didn't care one bit about Pearl. The only thing she cared about was the position of the master. That's all. That's ridiculous. She was willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve her goal. The life of that daughter. And naturally the life of Maya Fey as well. How could anyone do that? You were going to kill Maya. Pearl didn't need to know anything about it. All she had to do was to follow the instructions to let her in trouble me. Then I would have simply used the body and finished the job. In any case, I'm already dead. There's nothing any of you can do to me.
Supply wants to blame the crime on your younger twin. And Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple.
She and I looked absolutely identical. No one can actually tell us apart. It's no hard to witness me killing Maya. Naturally, they would think it was Iris who had done it.
The other witness in this case was the head, not Sister Bikini.
I never would guess she was going to return to Hazakura Temple that night. But she wound up seeing Iris' cry anyway.
But why did you want to pin murder Iris in the first place? She's your twin sister, isn't she?
Twin sister? Ha! Don't even laugh! She's nothing but a backstabber! I don't care less about her! Backstabber? You just don't understand. You never will! Anyway. You think the plan was a success? You heard me, just as I would have hoped. Maya Fey's dead. The title of Master will pass on to Pearl Fey. Well, I know full well that's not true. Oh, that's absurd. Maya's she's just trapped inside a sacred cavern. Really? You're as foolishly optimistic as ever, aren't you? My darling Feeny. Do you ever want to know the truth? Ever since we met, I've despised you. Your snivelling naivety, your pathetic faith in other people. Look, I just want to know one thing. What did you personally think of Morgan Fey's plan? I told you already, didn't I? It was a stupid plan. It had no point, no value other than fulfilling her own greedy desires. Yes, it was certainly nothing to be proud of. If that's how you feel, why did you help her carry it out? Why would you do it? Why would you kill Maya? You maybe don't understand it. Being the kind and gentle soul that you are, you may not be able to appreciate why someone like me would help kill a woman like that. So then tell me, why? Is it obvious? I'm not like that woman. I only act in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself. For my own personal satisfaction. What did you say? This woman, Dahlia Hawthorne, she has her own reason for wanting Maya dead.
Now that she said that, it's blatantly obvious. Time and time again, you were stopped by her sister. You didn't want the same thing.
Objection!
Could it be the actual goal had nothing to do with Maya Fey herself? As I said, none of you had the power to punish me anymore. Because I'm already dead. Well, I had the same problem, you see. You can't punish the dead, and you can't take revenge against them either.
You want to take revenge on someone?
I was sentenced to die because of that woman, Maya Fey. I somehow knew this was it. I wanted to send her a message. It was in her hands I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted her to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up.
But the reason it was impossible was perhaps because Maya Fey had already died.
Yeah, I realized there's the one way to take revenge against the dead.
And how do you do that?
Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. I want to take away the person that Maya Fey loved most. I wanted to kill her with my own hands. That would be the only way I could get my revenge against Maya Fey. That was the reason I helped out with that woman's plans. Just for that. That you would kill Maya? Your goal was no different than that of Morgan Fey. Ooh, things are actually no.
As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. What a cruel plan. Cruel, cold and heartless.
Don't waste your time preaching the dead. I already told you, there's not a thing you can do to me. That night, about 9:30 p.m., I materialized into this world. I quickly pinned my hair up and put on a demon warning hood. Then I picked up the staff that was by my side and left a secret temple. So it was Lee Stoneman who channeled her after all. That ridiculous head nun never noticed a thing. My god. She left my faith in the temple. I mobbled back, clutching a poor old back.
What did you do then?
That kid was easier to handle than I had hoped. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and... So then you're saying you stabbed Maya? It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that.
What does that mean? No clear memory.
I don't know. I think I was stabbed. You were stabbed? At the last minute, Maya Fey must have stabbed me, I'm sure of it. That's not like her at all. I wouldn't stab a French fry with a plastic fork. Anyway, he suddenly lost consciousness, but before I did, I swore a name on a lantern. Just as I was passing out, I wrote Maya behind my back. I had hoped it would cast suspicion on her. I can't believe she was thinking of that until the bitter end. Hang on a second. That's always just money stops.
It stops?
What's that? I don't have any memory of actually killing Maya Fey with my own two hands. My very last memory was Maya's terrified eyes. When I woke up after that, I was in the sacred cabin surrounded by darkness.
You were in a sacred cabin?
The engine was sealed by one of those trip locks. Somehow had been trapped in there.
But how did you wind up in there?
I'd like to know that myself, to be fair. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know whether or not Maya Fey was dead. And I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until I knew I had killed her myself.
You're so one tough cookie.
You're one tough cookie.
I wanted to get out of there and make sure she was dead, so... But I couldn't do it. I just couldn't get out.
The trick lock stopped you, huh?
I didn't know how to remove it.
So you're saying you were actually confined or something like that?
Yeah, I wanted to get rid of that annoying lock as soon as possible, but it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted while I was working on it. Interrupted? It was only in the morning, but someone came into the training hall.
What? Who?
Could it have been Maya?
I thought the same thing, but I couldn't see. Why not? If someone had spotted me, they would have lost my chance. I would have lost my chance to take revenge. So I made sure to hide myself well at the back of the secret cabin. That morning, only 2 people could have gone into the training hall. Maya and Pearls. Pearls went there to cover the hanging scroll and gravy. Still, I finally managed to remove the lock. But I was too late.
What do you mean by that?
The flies had already started to gather.
The bridge had been fixed and the police had started an investigation, correct?
Naturally, I couldn't go out, so instead I returned to the cabin and put the lock back on myself. I realised I wouldn't get a chance to see Maya's corpse as I had hoped. But just then, Lady Luck showed up. Lady Luck? After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself. The real Iris? She said she'd come back to make sure the secret cabin was alright. Stupid girl. I came out of the secret cabin and got a feel for the situation. And I locked her away in my place. I had finally learned exactly what had happened. It was then that I learned that the plan had actually succeeded. What do you mean your plan has succeeded? I had misunderstood one thing, you see. That night, the one that had summoned me, I had assumed it was Beauvais.
Well, of course, you would have assumed that. It was written in the instructions.
But I was wrong. The person that had actually called my spirit back was... Misty Fey, the picture book author.
What?
Well, that's really the only possibility, isn't it? After her lost consciousness in the garden, it was her body that was left lying there. My Fey. I wasn't able to kill her with my own hands after all. But even so, I made her commit the most vile sin a human can commit.
That is?
Matricide. The sin of killing her own mother.
Way! Order in the court. What is the meaning of this? And the meaning we'll find out in the next episode.
But if you guys did enjoy this episode, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help. Click the bell icon down below to be notified when I live stream or upload a video. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!